Have you ever wondered how you can turn a Word document from something like this into something like this? Today we will be learning how to format a Word document. Formatting in Microsoft Word is the process of changing how text and the document look in order to make them clear, neat, and easy to read. Formatting changes the appearance and layout of the text, but it does not change the meaning of the content. So instead of typing text again and again just to practice formatting, Microsoft Word can automatically generate practice text for us using a simple formula. This formula is called RAND. It creates sample paragraphs and sentences that we use only for practice and not for real documents. For example, if we are to use the formula, and remember a formula begins with an equal sign, and then we use the formula which we said is RAND, we open a bracket and say we put 3,3 and then we close the bracket. So this means that Word is going to generate 3 paragraphs for us, each with 3 sentences. Let us press enter and verify that. So here I have my 3 paragraphs, each with 3 sentences. For example, if I check my paragraph 1, I have the first sentence until here, the second until here, and the third until here. Same for paragraph 2, my first sentence until here, the second here, and the third one ends over here. And finally for my paragraph 3, my first sentence ends over here, the second over here, and the third one over here. So if I remove this and right now we change this formula, and let's say we want 4 paragraphs with 2 sentences. So we said a formula begins with an equal sign. We are going to put the equal sign and the formula is RAND. We open the bracket. We want 4 paragraphs, comma, and we need each paragraph having 2 sentences. So we'll put 2, close the bracket and press the enter key. Now we have 4 paragraphs and each has 2 sentences. Again, if I need 5 paragraphs, each with 3 sentences, back to the formula, I'll say equal to RAND, open the bracket and say 5, 3 and then close the bracket. That is because I need 5 paragraphs with each paragraph having 3 sentences. When I press enter, Word is going to generate for me 5 paragraphs with each having 3 lines. For the purpose of this video, I will be using 3 paragraphs each having 3 sentences. Let us now start formatting the document. And remember, we said that formatting changes the appearance and the layout of the text only, but it does not change the meaning of the content. Okay, let's say I wanted to decrease the font of my paragraph 1. I will first select my paragraph 1. Now there are various ways of selecting a paragraph. I can either come on my left margin until I get a pointer. I left click and I drag downwards, or I can put my cursor at the beginning of the paragraph and come to this point, but I do not click over here. I press the shift key and then tap it once and my paragraph is selected, or just within the paragraph I can triple click and my paragraph is selected. Now if you notice, when I select my paragraph, I have this small box that appears. This is known as the mini toolbar, and it is a small floating toolbar that appears above or near selected text, and it gives quick access to common formatting tools. For example, we have the font type, the font size, bold, italic, underline, text color, and so on. So I can change the font size from my mini toolbar, or I can go under the home tab and change my font size from over here. So if I wanted to decrease, I can just come over here and choose, maybe let's put it at 8, for example. So you see I have already decreased the font size of my paragraph 1. Okay, now for example, I don't like how my heading looks like. I want to make it probably bold and underline it or even change the color. So first of all, I have to select what I want to change. So I will select this title of mine. Again, there are various ways of selecting, which we are going to discuss in another video. And in that video also we are going to discuss about the keyboard shortcuts. So as of now, I'll just select my title and then say I want to make it bold. So bold means making text thicker and darker so that it stands out from the rest of the text. So to make my heading bold, I can either come under the home tab and in the font group, click on this B icon, or I can use the keyboard keys Ctrl B to make it bold. And now let me increase the size. Since it is already selected, I will just come over here, click on the drop down arrow and maybe put it at 14, and maybe I want it to also be in the middle rather than on the left side. So to center my heading, I should ensure that the heading is selected. If it is not selected, I can come over here and select it. After that, under the home tab, I can click on this button, or I can use the keyboard keys Ctrl plus E. And now my heading is centered. Say maybe I also wanted to underline. So to underline my heading, I can come under the home tab, click on this drop down arrow and choose my preferred style. So for example, maybe I choose this one. To do the same thing, I can use the keyboard keys Ctrl plus U to underline, but this will give me this default underlining method, which is the single underline. If I want another one, I can just click on the drop down arrow and change to whatever style I want it to. So let's say I also want to highlight my heading. I can select my heading once again, and under the home tab, I can come right over here to this drop down arrow if I want another color apart from yellow, because yellow is the one that is chosen right now. If I want another color apart from yellow, I click on the drop down arrow and choose the color that I want. Although what I prefer is using these highlighters from the draw tab. So I go to the draw tab and then select one of the highlighters that I like. Over here, I can also add a highlighter of my own. So to add a highlighter of my own, I click on add and then choose highlighter. After that, I can come over here and choose more colors if I do not need these colors, and then choose a color of choice. You can see right over here the color changing. Let's say I choose that. So once I am done, I will click on OK. And now I have my highlighter with me. So once I am done with that, I will click on where I want it to start and then drag along. And once I am done, I release my mouse. And now to get rid of this thing, I can click on the escape key. Okay, say for example, I wanted to change the font style of my heading. So I will first select my heading. After that, under the home tab, I will click on this drop down arrow and choose the font style that I like. For example, if I decide to go with this one, and now I want my highlighting to be on all my words, I can just stretch it from over here. So for example, now I want to italicize my paragraph 2. I will first select it, then I can come under the home tab and click on this button, or I can use the keyboard keys Ctrl plus I to italicize my paragraph. I can also do the same thing for just a word instead of a whole paragraph. So maybe I want to change the word just document to italics. So I will place my cursor over here, select the word document, either use the mini toolbar, the home tab, or the keyboard keys Ctrl plus I to do that. And if I don't want it again, I can simply click on this button again if I don't want it. Okay, now say I want to change the color of this font, maybe here until here. As of now, it is black in color. So I can change the font color from the mini toolbar right over here, or under the home tab right over here. But if I click over here, it will change to red because the current one is red. If I want a different color, I click on the drop down arrow and I choose a color of choice. If I still don't like it, I have the option of more colors, and from over here I can choose a preferable color. And then once I am done choosing, I click on OK. I can still change the color of this by going back over here and changing it to the desired color. So let's say I now want to align my 3 paragraphs. I will first select all the 3 paragraphs or whatever the number of paragraphs you have. Alignment is how text is placed on the page. We have 4 main types of alignment. We have the left alignment, which is the default one. We have the center alignment, which places the text in the middle. Then we have the right alignment, in which the text is going to start from the right margin. And we have the justified, where the text is aligned evenly on both left and right margins. So I think I prefer the justified style more. But here there is some unevenness because of the margin. I had resized my margins. So to resize again so that there is a balance between the two sides, I can come to my view tab. So what I do is that I check the ruler option. After that, I come over here and drag it to where I want it to be. So let's say until there, this looks better now. Let me also decrease the font size of these 2 paragraphs. So to do that, I will select the 2 paragraphs, go to my home tab or use the mini toolbar. Then from this drop down arrow, I decrease or increase my font size. So let me put this at 9 and this also as well. Let me put it at 9 as well. Now suppose I want these 3 paragraphs to appear in columns, like in newspapers or magazines. So to do this, I will first select my text and then go to the layout tab. After that, I will click on columns and choose one of these options given, or I can come to more columns. So when I click on columns, a column dialog box appears. This will now help me customize how the columns will look like. For example, if I want 2 columns, I can use one of these over here, or I can increase and decrease from over here, but this is going to be too much, so I will stick with just 2 columns. Over here, I can even adjust the width and the spacing. I can also put a line in between, and you can see the preview over here. Now, if I put a line in between, this is how my paragraphs are going to look like. After I am done, I will click on OK. Now you can see I have 2 columns and I have a line in between. Okay, so now I have put my paragraphs into column format, but I still don't like it over here because it is eating up some words. So to fix that, I am going to select my paragraphs, go to the layout tab, and under the columns, come to more columns, and from here I can adjust my spacing. The width is how wide each column is, which is currently 7.55 centimeters for both. And the spacing is the gap in between the columns. So let us try and increase the column spacing to, let's say, 1.8. After that, we click on OK. Now this looks way better than the previous one, but I still want this line not to be touching the words so closely. I can use indenting. So indenting is pushing text away from the edge of the page. So to do that, I will select this text of mine until just over here and then indent it until 0. As of now, it is at negative 0.8 centimeters. So I will indent and put it at 0 centimeters. So now this looks way better than it was previously. Okay, now for example, say I wanted to have a picture over here as my background. So what I can do is that I can insert an image that I like. I have already made a video on how to insert images in Microsoft Word. If you don't know how to, I have linked it in the description below. So now I have already inserted an image in my document, and now I want to make it a bit transparent so that my text is seen clearly. So to do that, I ensure that my picture is selected. Then I come in the picture format tab, and under transparency, I can adjust the level of my transparency. I think I like this one better. Of course, if the document is larger, I can just resize it so that it covers the whole document, because if I stretch this way, the image is going to get distorted. We had discussed this in the video where I had shown how to insert images. Okay, let me now copy this same image and paste it over here. So to do that, I can use the keyboard keys Ctrl C to copy and Ctrl V to paste. Then I can adjust and put it over there. So let's say I want to flip this image. I will select it, go to the picture format tab, and then from over here I am going to flip it. So now this seems a bit off from the margin. So to bring it closer, I will select this text, go to the layout tab, and indent it on the left side so that it gets closer to the margin. And now to fix this text so that it goes in the picture, I can put my cursor anywhere, and using the ruler, I can push it inward until where I would like it to be. I can also adjust from over here, and there we go. Let me just also play around with it so that it appears a bit better. Okay, this is what I have so far, and maybe I want to rechange the color of this, so I select it, I go to the shape format tab, and under shape outline I can change to the color that I want. For example, we can choose this blue accent color. Right over here I can also insert bullets. So let's say I want to put a bullet for this point over here. I will go to the home tab, click on this drop down arrow and choose a bullet of choice. Over here I can also add a new bullet of my own, which we are going to discuss in another video. As of now, I'll pick this one. And then we can have another bullet for this point. Let's say I also want to change again and make this bold. So I select it under the mini toolbar. I can click on this or use the keyboard shortcut Control B. Even over here, themes and styles, I can select these words only, these 3 words, and then Control B. I can change this back to black if I want, so I will select it, come back over here and click on the black one. Let me just organize it and then I see you again. This is my final result. I worked a lot with breaks, which we will discuss in a separate video. If you enjoyed the video and found it helpful in any way, consider subscribing and dropping a like. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.